All right, so here I have my solar panels, little portable solar panels, 4 panel. I believe these are, what do they call them? Monocrystalline, I believe. And this is a ZoomBros, 120 watts, 18 volts. So basically these 4 panels, they're wired in parallel. So that means each one is, approximately 18 volts. So it's wired in parallel. How do I know that? Let's look at the numbers here. So I have my solar panel plugged into my what is this thing called? Battery generator. So I'm looking at the input. So it's telling me 52 watts input. All right. So I have the 4 panels out. If I fold this in like so, and look here, all of a sudden I have less watts. Well, it's actually still pretty close. So that tells me that that's why it's in parallel. Because if it was, let me open it back up. Okay, I just opened it back up. All right, opened up, 52. If I close it, let me close it right now. Close it, drops all of a sudden. Then it starts to rise again. But that tells me that it's in parallel, because if this was in series and you do this, you cover up half of the panels, it will actually pretty much go dead. So back open again. So I have a whole bunch of stuff connected, right? All these electronics connected. Well, not everything's connected. I still have these two lights here that's not connected, because I ran out of plugs basically. So this battery generator is also a ZoomBros. So that's ZoomBros, and there's 4 USB connectors, 3 USB 3.0s, USB A, I think it's called a USB A 3.0s, and 1 USB C down on the bottom. And obviously there's a 12-volt cigarette plug, and I plugged the one that has two more USBs in there. So this side right here is obviously the DC. That's the USB, and that's the AC. So I'm not sure if you guys can see this, but you see the light on the USB, and the lights on the DC side, but the AC side has no light on. That's because I have the power here plugged in. If the input power is plugged in, the AC won't work, unfortunately. I'm not sure why they designed like that, because you want to be able to charge your generator and everything else at the same time. But if I unplug this, and actually let's look up here where there's no glare. So the top line, 52 watts, that's the input, and this is DC on, that's the output watts. So if I unplug this, so that input goes away. All right here, let me push this on. Now the power's on. Now you can see the AC on. Let's see how much it's gonna draw. So there it goes. Now the AC is drawing power. All right. So I have it connected to my my laptop. This is the old MacBook Air. This is the older generation, 2017. So there it is, drawing 20-something watts. When I had the screen open up, it actually drew up more. Let's see. So the screen opened up, all of a sudden it draws 32 watts. Oops, it dropped, yeah, 30 watts. Actually not that high, because it's just on the login screen. There's nothing running. There's no apps running. So there you go. So if I plug the power back in, this AC light will go out. See that AC light? That AC light will go out, and the display on the AC right up here, that will actually go out as well. That goes out, and all of a sudden the display light went out. So basically this thing can't work with power input and AC output at the same time. It could do the DC output. You know, this DC output, the USB is also DC output as well. Why this thing shows the DC here, but not the USB power out. I don't know why, because if I turn this off, let's see. Oh, see the lights on right there, and up here the display is on for the DC out. So I turn this off, awesome, the display turns off, right? But the USB is still on, so I have no idea how much it's powering up, or how much it's using. Let me see if I can turn this off as well. So I can turn that off. So that's off, obviously. All right. I can turn that back on. Turn it back on. Turn this one back on. You see the light here come on, and you see the display indicator come on. So basically, yeah. So DC works while it's being charged, but AC doesn't. So they need to redesign this and make sure that everything works while the input's in as well. Otherwise, it's a pretty compact, very compact actually. You know, less than my pinky to my thumb. So this thing is like, I don't know, 10 inches maybe 8 inches, 10 inches, 10 or 8 inches across, wide, and probably maybe 6 inches or so deep, and probably about 6 inches high. So it's pretty compact, and it's actually pretty heavy for its size. So that tells me that it's very dense. Everything's really packed in there real tightly for how the size it is, the dimensions. So here I have what's this thing called? A battery, a little portable lithium battery being charged. Right, that. I have my old iPhone being charged. It's at 95%. I have my little gimbal camera being charged. Got my little headlamp being charged. Got a classical lamp being charged. Got my iPhone gimbal being charged, all at the same time. Basically all my my little electronics, just to see how it runs. So right now it shows 52 watts input, and the thing says 120 watts, right? You have to understand that right now it's the day after Thanksgiving, so we're in winter pretty much now. So the angle of the sun isn't real high, so it doesn't get the full power. If this was the middle of summer, it probably can get the 120 watts, but we're not in the middle of summer, right? We're at towards the beginning of winter. We're not quite winter yet. We're actually how many weeks away? 2 or 3 weeks away, I think, from the winter solstice. So I think it's pretty good, giving pretty good power. So just the time I'm talking, I think it went up a percentage or so already. So it's actually charging everything more than everything is draining, obviously, right? All right, so yeah, so this thing is pretty new. So this right here is 330 watts. It says 330 watts. I'm not sure if it actually is. It's probably closer to maybe 300 or under 300. You never really trust these numbers. Same thing with this. It says 120. It's probably closer to like maybe 100 watts or something like that. So yeah, all right, that's it. So I have all my electronics here. I wish I had more space. So this right here, I don't know what the hell plug this is for. I mean, this is it's very uncommon to use these type of plugs. 30 years ago, these types of plugs were pretty common, but nowadays, man, these type of plugs are very uncommon. The only time you see these anymore is maybe like on the back of a electronic item that has like a built-in transformer, like this right here, a little built-in transformer to convert it from AC down to DC. Then outputs DC. So instead of having the transformer, you could just have the plug, bypass the transformer and plug it right in. The last time I've seen something like this is like if you look at the back of like a router or a modem, you'll see this, something similar to this type of plug. And that's the only time I could think of that uses those type of plugs anymore. Otherwise, that's kind of outdated. So I'm not sure why they had that, or maybe having one is all right, but having two is probably a little too much. They could have done probably with just one, I think, and maybe have more USB chargers or something. So again, purpose of this is if I were to go camping, like car camping, I have a power source that I could plug in, and I don't have to worry about draining the car battery, the starter battery, because that's not really meant. It's meant for that, designed for that type of use. But also, if there's a power outage here at home, I can actually plug in the router and the modem into this. I probably won't use this. I probably just plug it straight into this, and that way I could still have internet, because internet actually runs off of at least at this place anyways, it runs off of the cable line. So if the power is out and the cable line is still up, and I could power the router and the modem, I could still have internet with no power basically. So that's cool right there, right? Yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching.